Mary, go ahead and start the meeting. I'll get the live stream going too.
Okay, very good. Good evening. I'd like to call this December 3rd, 2020 meeting of the University Heights City Planning Commission to order. Mrs. Thomas, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Brennan,
Here.
Mrs. Urban, Mr. Szymborski,
Here.
Mr. Fine, Mr. Rock.
Here.
Is there a motion to excuse Mr. Fine and Mrs. Urban?
So move, Mayor.
Okay, motion by Mr. Rock. I'll go ahead and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mrs. Thomas, will you call the roll?
Mayor Brennan,
Yes.
Mr. Szymborski,
Yes.
Mr. Rock.
Yes.
Mr. Fine and Mrs. Urban are excused. We have a set of minutes from the November 5th, 2020 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Mayor, I just have one comment on page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 paragraphs down, starting with Mr. Rock. Third sentence, it says Mr. Rock sighed. It should say said.
Okay.
That's my only change.
I would note that Mr. Szymborski was absent from the November 5th meeting, which would leave just 2 of the 3 of us here who were present for that meeting. Mr. McConville, do we need all 3 of us to vote if we're tabling this subject?
Yeah, you will need 3 votes to approve. Mr. Szymborski can vote yes, as long as he doesn't see anything, troubling. But if he would rather not vote, you can table.
Well, I'll ask if there's a motion to table, and if Mr. Szymborski doesn't make one, then I will ask then instead for a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved.
To approve the minutes?
Yes.
Very good. We have a motion to approve the minutes by Mr. Szymborski. I'll second. The motion. Mr. Rock will second the motion.
I second.
As amended by Mr. Rock's comments. And if there's no discussion, Mrs. Thomas, we call the roll.
Mayor Brennan.
Yes.
Mr. Szymborski,
Yes.
Mr. Rock.
Yes.
Very good. Minutes are.
Mayor, I would just say that I think Ms. Urban's trying to get into the meeting.
Oh.
Yeah, an email come across my screen. I think she has the invite, Kelly.
Let me see.
Yes, I sent the invite to everybody again.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay. She says she can't find the agenda where the Zoom link is. Okay. Yes. Did somebody respond to this?
I have not responded, but I think if you could send it again, Kelly, maybe for some reason didn't get it.
Okay. Hang on.
Wait just a moment.
I sent it to her again.
If nobody minds, we could wait just a moment before we continue. Here we go.
Mayor, quick question. Again, it says the YouTube password was changed. It was changed 35 hours ago,
I don't know anything about it.
so I can't get in.
All right, well, we'll just have to upload the video to YouTube later. Okay. Yeah, I'm unaware of I'm not the one that changed it.
Okay.
So I don't have the password. All right, very good. Then we will turn now to the agenda. Let the record reflect Mrs. Urban has joined us. And we are here on item A first, recommendation to City Council for the demolition of house located at 4499 Groveland, parcel 721-14-007/08, tabled at the November 5, 2020 meeting. Who would like to proceed on this item? We do have an applicant. I look at Domus Construction is here. Looks like perhaps Mr. Graysook is here. And Mr. Schulman, maybe? Pardon me. Who is here on behalf of Domus today, for the record?
Yes, this is Vadim Shulman. I'm Senior Production Officer for Domus Construction.
And I'm Vladimir Graysook. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Domus Construction.
Very good, very good. Would you like to present on item A, recommendation to City Council for the demolition of house?
Yes. Can I speak?
Yes, you may. You may have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. We would like to present this project, more complete version of it, which contains basically several phases. First, it is demolition of existing home. And second, split of the lot in order to build 2 new homes on that lot. As everybody probably know, that house on Groveland Road is not in a good shape at all. Repairs probably will not do the justice to it. And from our market analysis and what we can understand and see, I think the best course of action is to demolish the existing home and subsequently build a new house, or in our case, divide the lot and build 2 houses. So that is what we are proposing.
Okay, very good. Mr. Cheney, did you have something? You're muted. Oh, okay. Very good.
Mayor,
Sorry, Mayor, I didn't have anything.
No, okay.
Mayor, I would just note that really agenda items A and B are inextricably linked. And I think the minutes from the last meeting indicate that. At the last meeting, the Planning Commission members asked the applicant to provide a site plan and elevations so that they could get a view of what the proposed homes would look like. And so it may make sense for purposes of the presentation to consider items A and B in tandem and then vote separately on each, just so that our record reflects the various aspects of, what Planning Commission is doing tonight are voted on separately. But for purposes of the presentation, I mean, it's all one project, if you will.
Certainly. And if it's permissible then to consider the 2 items A and B in tandem, then that would seem to make sense. Isn't it? Following, function, following the form, I suppose, or something.
Mayor, I was not at the last meeting. May I ask a question more directed to Joe, just so I have a better understanding?
Yes, you may go ahead, Mr. Simborski.
So Joe, I know there's the one house there that comes down, but then has the lot not been consolidated? Or is it one parcel now, Joe? And you're on mute. Maybe you could help me understand that.
I believe it's one parcel now, and they're gonna make it 2.
Okay. Then I guess I didn't understand why in B it says recommendation to the city council for the consolidation and lot split, and not just lot split.
Well, I think there are two lots, but it's a larger lot with a smaller lot behind it, and the split runs,
Oh, you're right. Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
And
There's that
then,
little piece behind it. Right.
and it's split more conventionally, like,
I see.
Right.
And Luke, do we know that for sure? We have that on record or whatever this, when we say the little piece behind it, is this piece that, that juts towards the next street, goes north, or Joe, do you know?
Yeah, I didn't bring it with me. Vlad, do you know?
Yes, historically it was two parcels split horizontally, but the parcel closer to the road has been retired by county, and now they are, according to county records, consolidated. And the sketch you have on hand shows the correct borders of the existing parcel.
all right, so did everybody,
Joe, yeah, Joe, can you see this? Do you recall this now?
You know, I have it. I have a copy of that. I just
Oh, you have it,
don't have
okay.
the previous one, the existing. I can't, I didn't bring it with me. I'm not in my office. And I don't recall what it was. I mean, I'm in favor of creating two lots there for two homes.
Right. Okay,
I don't see an issue with doing that. And this isn't a plat. This is just like a site plan. You'd have to submit a plat.
okay,
Maybe I can give some insight on that. So when this house
Thanks,
was
Joe.
built in 1890, it actually faced South Green Road. It's a farmhouse. It actually, the front of it faces South Green Road. And
Right.
so the parcel, see that?
I got it, John, go ahead.
The existing house is here, so that was
Yep.
a lot. And then there was another lot down here, but it didn't make sense to ever build a house there based on the size. So
Got it,
consolidated to this one.
okay. So that's I understand now the consolidation and then the split, okay. And I've seen it, so I know what it physically looks like. Thank you.
did everybody get then the submitted site plan and the drawings of the two houses?
Yes,
All commission members did get that? Okay, good, okay.
are the setbacks meet the minimums, Joe? Do you know?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, based on this plan he submitted, yes, it does.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Mayor.
All right,
Understand it now, thank you.
I'll just weigh in. Well, first I want to thank you for providing more information. This is helpful. Remember the last meeting, what I wanted to see was a site plan and how these two houses would be situated. And now that I see that, I'm more comfortable with the site plan. And I thank you for providing the drawings of what the houses are going to look like. I'm not here to comment on the design of the house. That's for ARB to do. And I appreciate they look somewhat different because I don't want two identical houses next to each other. So I appreciate that they look a little different. My only angst in the last meeting was the demolition of this old home that was built in 1890. In order to do that, I really wanted to just be wowed with some new presentation. And the fact that we're going to have two homes. Could you tell me what the estimated cost will be when you sell these?
Well, Vlad, you want to talk to it?
Yes. We project to sell them mid 500,000, maybe 550, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, that's great. I'd like to hear that. So that helps me because I had a little apprehension in demolishing this house, but two homes of that magnitude, it's going to bring incredible value to the neighborhood. So I feel a little bit better about that now. The history behind the house, I mean, it is an old home, but there's not a lot of architectural character that really makes it any more unique than the other houses along that area. So I feel somewhat okay with the demo. I know I was a little apprehensive before. The fact that it's facing South Green Road and you can't even see it from South Green Road because there's a house built in front of it. The character of the home, it can't be seen from the street. So I feel a little bit better than I did last month.
Yeah, I mean, I went and looked, and it even seemed as if the old front of the house has been changed over time. So the part that would have faced South Green Road doesn't much look like a front of a home anymore. There isn't that, from what I can see, a reveal where you're like, oh yeah, that would look great if only we could see it. If you look, you still can't see it. At least I couldn't. I imagine there have been some changes made. Is anybody aware of any historical significance of this particular home other than the fact that it was built in 1890?
I actually talked to somebody who specialized in historic preservation who didn't seem to think there was any significance other than it's a cool old house. To bring it back to the way it was is gonna be really hard to do and very expensive to do. And who would ever do that when it's not even facing the right way, in terms of the street that it's currently on. So no, it's a tall order to bring it back.
Yeah, from a legal standpoint, I think it's worth noting that, our code in 1242-14, which is the demolition ordinance, indicates that a demolition permit can be issued if one of four requirements is met. And one of the requirements is that a development plan has been approved by Planning Commission and City Council for a replacement building on the same parcel. And the issue from a legal standpoint becomes that the applicant is presenting site plans for a permitted use that don't require any variances. And so while the demolition permit ordinance is a little bit circular, you run the risk of denying a site plan that's, presenting with a permitted use, no variances required, which I think could raise an issue of a taking. If you don't allow the applicant to use the property for its permitted, uses. We talk about permitted uses as a legal matter, those are uses as of right. So that's just, I think, the legal analysis of this particular site.
Let me ask you a question. If that's the case, are you saying that's assuming that this has already been consolidated and split? Or the way the property is positioned now, you can't put two houses on the property like that?
Mm-hmm.
No, and as I said, it's circular. It's a circular provision. So I'm just saying that the site plan that they're presenting to you that calls for the lot consolidation and then the split is a site plan that contemplates permitted uses without the need for any variances. And so I think I guess the point is that if the Planning Commission were to deny the application for any reason that could be construed as arbitrary, they would not be given any discretion by a court because you have a permitted use.
Thank you for establishing that.
Mayor Brennan,
Yeah.
this is Joyce Prasad. While certainly my property value would benefit from having a $500,000 house across from me, could I just ask what's the size of those two houses on those two lots?
Certainly. I think that could be.
Yes, I can answer that.
Please do it.
There's one lot a little bit smaller, the other a little bit bigger. So on the smaller lot, the house that we're proposing to build is going to be about 2,700. square feet, and the other one's gonna be about 2,800 square feet. It's not gonna be large homes by any means.
Can I go ahead and share my screen so she could see? I'm assuming it's Joyce, right? Ms.
Yes,
Prasad?
mhm.
I'm assuming you did not get the documents that we have in front of
No.
us. Is that right? All right.
That's correct.
Can I just share my screen and she can see them? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds fine. Yes, thank you.
Trying to scroll to the right part. So now you can look at it while he describes it.
Now here you
Is
can
it like 4 or 6 bedroom homes?
Oh, you want to see the, here,
Yeah,
I'll get
there are the blueprint attached as well.
yeah.
Mhm.
So this, you kind of have to turn your head to see, but does this have that full square foot? There you go, yeah. Second floor, first floor.
I can't really see. Can I
Looks
just
like
ask how
five,
many?
looks like 5 bedrooms unless you
Okay.
count the den.
Yeah,
Okay.
5-bedroom home.
6.
It is 5 bedrooms, yes. Those are
Okay.
5 bedroom homes.
So I guess my only comment, if you care, is, you're looking at a property, when you're talking about a 5-bedroom house, you're probably talking about a home with 4 to 6 people in it. And then you've got 2 lots, so that's like 12 or more people on a lot that historically has only had 3 or 4 people there. That's a lot.
And I think this is where the site plan comes in handy, maybe. I don't know.
Right, I mean, it is in essence a double-sized lot at present that the farmhouse sits on. And the way it's split, the lot sizes will be much more consistent with the other lots on below them. The houses,
I shared with the neighbor that the difference here is rather than, and it's obvious, but rather than with a garage in the back, the garage is in the front projecting. So you'll have, you won't have a driveway on the side of the house.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm just sharing that with the neighbor so she understands the drawing.
Yeah.
right,
Well, it would be a nice addition to the block, that's for sure.
oh, good, good. All right. I do like how, and I know this isn't ARB, I do like how the 2 houses look different. I mean, they're similar, they're of a kind, but they've been styled to not be identical, and that is something I appreciate. You know, you've got different second floor window array, different materials in the facade in the front, so even though they'll have a similar look, they won't be true, and they are of materials that will blend in, I think, overall on the street. As Mr. McConville pointed out, this is a permitted use for the property, and when it comes to the demolition, you know, they're coming to us, you know, proposal that is complete. We have a plan to demolish a house and a site plan of what's to be built after that. We've also worked with Domus, the city has, on one other project over on Washington Boulevard, and there have been no problems to date. Everything has gone smoothly thus far. So that's worthy of noting as well. So, any further discussion?
One other thing that I would add, Mayor, is that in the other project to date that we've done with Domus, we entered into a development agreement, and I think it would be appropriate to condition approvals in this instance on a development agreement as well, so that we can ensure that there are protections in place that give the city some options if the home, hypothetically speaking, of course, were to be demolished and then no construction were to occur. It being the goal of the city to have, you know, the home demolished and then construction begin on each of the lots.
Okay, that is thank you for pointing that out. That would be a reasonable addition to add. And certainly it would be consistent with our prior actions, not only with this developer, but with others.
Correct.
Well, then we have to take these separately. But I would make a motion to recommend City Council demolition of the house. Just before I proceed, Luke, we should make separate motions for the separate agenda items, even though we've been talking about them in tandem, correct? Okay.
Correct.
All right, very good. Well, then we'll start then with a motion to make recommendation to City Council for the demolition of the house located at 4499 Groveland, parcel 721-14-007/08, subject to a development agreement to be negotiated between the city and Domus Construction for the construction of two houses that are same or substantially similar to what has been submitted to the Planning Commission for the site plan and the plans that accompany. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Szymborski. Any discussion on the motion?
Tiny thing. Is it technically parcel 721140007? Not 008?
I think it's 007 and 0,
Okay,
because I believe there are two parcels at present which will need to be consolidated and then split, which will be the subject of the next motion. But thank you for pointing it out. Kelly, did I say 7 and 8?
Yes.
Okay, good. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, very good. Mrs. Thomas, we call the roll.
Mayor Brennan? Mrs. Urban?
yes.
Mr. Szymborski?
Yes.
Mr. Roth?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is recommendation to City Council for the consolidation and lot split of parcels 721-14-007/08 into two separate parcels at 4499 Groveland Road, which was tabled at the November 5, 2020 meeting. We've been discussing these items in tandem, so we'll just reference back the discussion we've been having. Is there anything anybody would care to add further to this? Mr. Cheney, anything?
No, Mayor? No comment.
Anything Mr. Schulman or Mr. Graysook would care to add?
No.
No. Very good. Well, then I'll make it the motion then to recommend to City Council for the consolidation and lot split of parcels 721-14-007 and 008 into two separate parcels at 449 Groveland Road. Is there a second?
Second.
Here, did you want to make that contingent also?
On the development agreement?
Yes.
Luke, should we do that here?
Tomato, tomato, it's fine.
I mean, we'll have the development agreement on the other one.
Yeah. The demolition permit will come first. I would say yes, make it contingent. We'll just go ahead and.
Okay. All right, then I'll amend my motion to recommend to City Council for the consolidation and lot split of parcels 721-14-007 and 008 into two separate parcels at 4499 Groveland Road, contingent upon the negotiation and entry of a development agreement between City and Domus Construction for construction of the two homes as same or substantially similar to the two that have been submitted with the site plan to the Planning Commission. Mr. Simborski, do you still?
Second.
All right. Kelly, did you get all that? I know I kind of rattled through it. We're recording it. You can come back.
The same as A.
Yes, the same as A. Very good. All right. Any discussion on this motion? All right. Well, before we vote, Mr. Grayson, Mr. Schulman, looking forward to 2 more beautiful homes here in the city of University Heights. So excited about the project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very good. So if there's no further discussion, Mrs. Thomas, will you call the roll?
Mayor Brennan. Mrs. Urban,
Yes.
Mr. Simborski,
Yes.
Mr. Rock,
Yes.
Motion carries. So before we adjourn, gentlemen, we obviously want to get in together as we did last time on a development plan. Mr. McConville, I'm trying to recall, did we drafted that plan to begin with? Is that right?
We do. So we'll be able to, tweak that agreement, make it specific to these parcels and get that out to your legal counsel forthwith.
Great. That's great.
All right. Then if there's no further business before the Planning Commission, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Simborski to adjourn, a second by Mr. Rock. Mrs. Thomas, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Brennan, Mrs. Urban,
Yes.
Mr. Simborski,
Yes.
Mr. Rock.
Yes.
Have a happy holiday, everyone. Everyone be well and be safe.
Thank
We-
you.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.